This episode of Overreaction is brought to you by Scott USA.
Motocross fans, it's time to overreact. It's the last round of the championship. You got Hayden Deegan running the number one, making some people upset by running that one, but it's going to be fun to see what he does on this final day. You got Chase Sexton. He was the fastest qualifier in the 450s. He's looking to win his first outdoor championship. And of course, my eyes are on Ken Roczen, as is everyone's. Everyone I talked to on Friday at the Combine, they all want to know how Kenny was going to do. He's the hot topic. He is the focus here at Ironman for most of the people on the fence line. Let's have some fun. Let's drop the final gates of the outdoor season. Let's overreact.
250 Moto 1, sponsored by Mika Metals.
All right, 250 Moto number one, Drew Adams making his pro debut. I've watched him all year at the amateur races, and he pretty much smashed everybody, I'd say about 80% of the time, so I want to see what he does. As a pro, this is the real deal, and when the gate dropped, Tom Vialle was the real deal. He shuts Hayden Deegan off on the inside, grabs the whole shot. Drew Adams is about 8, 9, 10-ish on the start, and for Tom Vialle, look, this has been a rough season. This is not how he expected it to go. This moto, this weekend, is all for pride. You want to end strong, go into playoffs with a little momentum. So for Tom Vialle, he did the first part right. Can he go the distance in Moto 1? And he will not have to deal with Hayden Deegan, who is down. And look, the championship's won. I don't think the focus is all the way there, because if this was a regular moto, I don't think this happens. There's a later tip over. I don't think that one happens either. But he won the championship. He's a little unfocused in Moto 1. He goes down early. He's got a long ways to go. While you got Ken Roczen up front in an absolute cage match with all the PC boys. I'm sure Mitch Payton's watching that Suzuki go by going, what in the absolute heck? But that's Ken Roczen for you, Mitch. There's Drew Adams inside the top 10, battling with RJ Hampshire, probably thinking, I don't think I ever was going to race RJ Hampshire. I can't believe this is actually happening. Well, RJ's looking at Drew Adams going, who in the absolute whatever, who is that? Who is that on the number 5,931 machine? That's a kid from Florida, just like me. Well, you got Ken Roczen making moves, passing Ty Mashpro. Look, Ty Mashpro won a national this year. He is super elite in this class, and Kenny, showing that he's just a freak talent, can hop on that bike and run with those boys up front, at least in the early part, maybe the first half of the main event. He was one of the boys. Not much going on for about 15 minutes, but Hayden Deegan does go down. Again, that's that focus for you. I just don't think he was locked in Moto number one. He goes down. He's got a long ways to go just to get to the top 10, which was a tough one for him. I mean, that's not normally what you see out of Hayden Deegan, but that's what we got. Moto 1 at Ironman, and it's safe to say he was not in the danger zone. Ty Mashpro was in the tie zone for a while. He ends up making most of the passes in that first moto, but then goes down himself. That's what you get when you're the only one really pushing and sending on a track that did have some consequences. So good riding by Ty, but a fall late takes him out of a second or third place finish. Levi Kitchen, look, he wants second overall in the championship. He wants to win 4 of 5 overalls. He's making moves. First it's Hymas, then eventually makes his way up to Jordan Smith, who had a great moto, and Kitchen was able to get by Jordan Smith for second, but it's Tom Vialle who strikes first. He stays clean, clean gear, clean bike, and he's ready to go for Moto number 2. Nice work, Tommy boy.
250 Moto 2, sponsored by Guts Racing.
250 Moto number 2, the only real battle left for this championship is for second between Tom Vialle, Levi Kitchen, and for Kitchen, he's wanting that 4 of 5, but Tom Vialle had other plans. He gets an incredible start Moto 2. Kitchen is nowhere to be found, and for Hayden Deegan, look, you're not buried in the pack this time. You're up in the front group, hovering around the top 5. I think we should just get into this thing, because this ended up being one of the most incredible back and forths of the entire season, and look, with Hayden Deegan and Tom Vialle, there is more to this than just this moto. There's a little bit of history. Go back to Supercross. Look, Tom Vialle was not supposed to be this good at Supercross this early. He puts a number 1 above his head, and Hayden Deegan had to watch that. You know it fueled him. And I believe that Deegan carried that into the outdoor and said, you know what, Tom, this is now your world. You're the 2-time world champion, and I'm going to get my revenge. And he did it all season long. So this battle, back and forth, the physicality, the looking over, the absolute prideful send, I think there was more to it than just this moto. Hayden Deegan trying to send one final message, which he does, that I'm the best guy in this class. I won the first moto, I won the last moto, and I won by a bajillion points. So for Hayden Deegan, good to see him fight late in this championship when it's already clinched, get that moto win. And for Tom Vialle, love to see him fight too. Look, it didn't work out in this moto. He does get the overall. That's good for him, but there is more to this battle than you all know, and it's going to carry on. They'll be battling out next year, depending on which coast they go, east and west. If Tom Vialle defends his title, which you think he would, he might not get Hayden Deegan if Hayden Deegan goes west, but I would like to see them battle again because they were 1-2 in Supercross. They're now 1-2 in the Outdoor Championship. And we got Charlotte in 2 weeks to settle the score one final time in 2024. Nice battle, boys. That was entertaining.
450 Moto 1, sponsored by EMT Racing.
450 Moto number 1, Chase Sexton has a championship to win. Is he gonna flex or just ride this one in, get the points, and get out of Ironman? Well, when the gate goes down, it's Dylan Ferrandis who goes for an absolute ride. I'd say go back and watch it in slow motion, but maybe you shouldn't. That was a terrible crash for Dylan Ferrandis. While Hunter Lawrence and Aaron Plessinger did their jobs getting up front, 1-2, both these guys so desperate for an overall. This is their last chance to do it. But unfortunately for them, Chase Sexton is third, Eli Tomac is fourth, and there's this Motocross of Nations question out there. Who's gonna go, Eli or AP? And Aaron Plessinger says, hey, why not me? I'm riding the best of my life. Look, I'm gonna go by Hunter Lawrence. I'm gonna take the lead. He's trying to make the case that he's the guy who should go represent the country. But unfortunately, Eli Tomac still exists, and he is in that conversation, of course. Chase Sexton has decided he is going to flex on the way out, and he makes a pass on Hunter Lawrence right away. Usually he takes his time in these things, but no, he makes the pass early. Then he goes right after Aaron Plessinger, his teammate, with an absolute sicko pass out to in. And this was kind of the final stamp, right? Like, I'm the man. Y'all know I'm the man, but let me do it one more time. Just like Deegan, he's going to go and win the moto when he clinches. That is the better way to go out, and Chase Sexton says, that's the way I'm going to do it. And here's Eli Tomac out front. Let's have the Motocross of Nations discussion. Look, he's Tomac, man. He's won 4 championships. He looks really good, better than I thought he'd look in his second race back. If he goes, that's fine. I mean, it's Eli Tomac, so of course I'd get on board. Everyone would. But at the exact same time, how about Aaron Plessinger? He is pretty much the purest representation of America, with the skullet, with the yeehaws, with the American flag. He's been riding awesome too. Look, if he was just a gimmick, that's one thing, but he's been riding incredible, battling and beating Hunter Lawrence, and you know that team is going to be good too, and he's battling, he's at that level. So he, again, is making the case that he is the pick to go. While Chase Sexton, obviously, he's going to go. He's been incredible this year. He wins the championship. I like the respect from Hunter Lawrence at the end of this championship run, right there on the track. You know, of course, Hunter gave his best. He put up a good fight. Chase was just a little bit better. So those two have had some good battles, but they've always respected each other. It's good to see. We'll see both of them at the Motocross of Nations. Again, the question is, Eli or AP? One moto to go to maybe settle that score.
450 Moto 2, sponsored by Racetech.
Before we drop the gate for 450 Moto number 2, huge shout out and mad respect to the grumpiest grumpster on the gate, Phil Nicoletti. This guy is my friend. He's a rad dude, and he will be an asset in whatever direction he goes in this sport. Wherever he goes, he's going to be great because he is great. So shout out to Phil Nicoletti. One final time, one final gate drop. And when that gate went down, I gotta tell you the truth, I was a little afraid. When these dudes come in from the far inside and the far outside, I don't think that's super safe. They got away with one here, unlike Dylan Ferrandis in Moto number 1. I'll bet you next year they're gonna dig up those sides a little deeper because I don't think they want that every single year for Ironman. And I'll tell you what the competition didn't want at Ironman Moto 2 is Chase Sexton being an absolute mental boss. Look, he doesn't have to win. He just got the title, but this guy closes out like a madman. He did it in Supercross. He's gonna do it here with a sicko pass. He closes out the lap of the pass on Aaron Plessinger. Again, the final stamping of an incredible season. I think it's 6 overall straight now for Chase Sexton. Wow, unreal season. Not the best second moto for Hunter Lawrence, not the best close to the season, but you gotta look at the entire body of work. This rookie season was fantastic for Hunter Lawrence. He is one of the boys. He has proven that multiple times this season. He is one of the boys up front, but today was not his day. But it was a good day for Chase Sexton, and it's time to ask the question. In 2 weeks, Charlotte, who do you got? Chase Sexton, who is operating at his very best, or Jet Lawrence, who's coming back? Hey, maybe Eli Tomac, but I'll tell you what, for Eli on this day, I think he proved the point that he is good to go. I don't think he needed to win the race or even beat AP. They just want to see if he's legit. Is he back to normal? Is he somewhat Eli Tomac? And he proved that today, so I think they're going to make the decision and go with him. But, well, who do you got? I mean, who would you pick? Would you pick AP? Would you pick Eli? My guess is they choose Eli Tomac. But it's been a fun summer. Love overreaction. I love doing this show. And we're going to keep it going. We'll see you after Charlotte for the first overreaction of the SMX playoffs. See ya.
Event Moto merch.com. MainEventMotoMerch.com. MainEventMotoMerch.com. MainEventMotoMerch.com.